bridges drain all the rivers, burn down the town hall. There are no winners. Reload the weapons, sharpen the scissors, cut off the fetters, pull all the triggers.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to the official War Thunder New Power preview stream. My name is Marcus Boom and I am joined by the amazing Tom Morgan, and boy oh boy, do we have a lot of things to show you today.
Yes, we certainly do.
I am very excited for this one. I'm very much excited for this one. So let's go right into it and let's show you some of the new stuff that we have. Starting off with the M1128 Striker Mgs. One of the vehicles a lot of you people have been really waiting for a long time. Myself as well, for one simple very reason. I really like the LAV chassis.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that this thing is finally making it into the game itself. So this is a new tank destroyer for the American Tech Tree based on the LAV chassis. And it has a manless turret, as you can see over here, with a 105mm gun. This is going to be quite a speedy little wagon for sure. Now, let's see what we can quickly do here. Actually, let's take it out and test drive. How about that?
Give it a go.
We can give you a quick little look. So, one of the new things this thing has actually is the M900 Apf Sds Shell, which has amazing penetration for 105mm cannon, 522mm flat, 302 even at angles. Keep in mind, this is all work in progress. You can see in big bold letters on the, well, literally above my head right now, that this is all work in progress. This isn't even the dev server. This is the pre-dev server, all right? Keep this in mind. Things are subject to change, but things are also very exciting. We have new graphics, we have new vehicles, we have new mechanics, we have new carriers even.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite nice. So stay tuned and you shall see. We are doing this in realistic mode so you can get a rough idea of the off-road performance of this vehicle. Of course, as the Striker is based on a wheeled vehicle, it won't be the most amazing in muddy terrain, soft terrain, but it should be quite fast actually in streets.
Yeah, at least.
And of course, with with these shells, it is actually quite nice. The thing has a lot of penetration. Now, one thing I actually wanted to show here, which you might not have noticed, is... Tom, do you see this?
Oh, I do. It appears to be a hole, Mike goes boom.
There appears to be a hole. In fact, multiple holes indeed.
Wow.
Also, an interesting message. What could that possibly be?
What could it possibly mean?
But yes, this is the Striker, as you can see. Quite an interesting vehicle. We'll see how it will perform. I personally am very excited for this one. And we'll come back to this in a second. Some of you people might have seen already on the Russian stream that happened earlier on how our colleagues and BVV, the amazing dev, has been showing off some of the new mechanics. But don't spoil it for anyone, okay? We shall keep it nice and good. So we're going to quickly go back to the hangar and we're going to show something else that wasn't actually shown on the Russian stream.
Ooh, what could it be?
Well, I think, if I recall correctly, our colleagues over in Moscow showed you the Russian carrier. Well, we're going to show you something different. We're going to be showing you the new American carrier for naval jets, finally. It has been a while, but we finally have it in the game. There we go.
Oh, it's so nice.
This is not your new vehicle, by the way. This is the Demon. We've had this in the game for quite a while. But as you can see, we have a whole new modern carrier with multiple runways, with a catapult launcher, with just space all over. Let's just say carrier landings are probably going to be a lot easier with this kind of carrier, that is for sure.
Very much. And as well, they are very dynamic in terms of the damage they can take. Bits of them will fall off, catch on fire. There'll be fire spread out where bombs are dropped, where rockets are hit. Certain parts can break off, and they sink in a quite dynamic way as well. So it's
they do indeed.
There's so much work been put into these, and they're really, really cool.
We might be able to show off some of the dynamic damage later on with the special vehicle we're going to be announcing towards the end of the stream.
Oh yes.
But for now, let's just put it like this. These carriers are tough. These are very tough. You can drop quite a few bombs on these without them sinking. So, sinking animation probably won't quite be shown today. You'll be able to figure it out yourself when the update drops. But as you can see, it is quite a nice beast over there. Quite detailed. I like the look of it, really.
Yeah, there's so much work been put into them. It's just brilliant, really. It's great to have these in here finally, and it's going to make carriers, at least for the higher tier, those jets, work a lot better than before with the older carriers. So it's really, really nice to see, and really good, especially that every sort of major nation like that has those carriers now. So awesome. Very happy with those.
See, I would try and attempt to land on this, but I'm not sure if I do trust my landing skills, so we are just going to do a nice little flyby, get a little bit more detail into it, and switch over to the next vehicle that we are to show. By the way, this is a PSA to all of you. We are currently streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Steam, I believe. And I would heavily recommend all of you who are currently watching on Twitch and on Steam to join the YouTube stream instead, because for one simple reason, we have all the quality possible on the YouTube stream with a full 1440p stream. So if you want to see all the little details, all the nice crispiness, all the nice new graphics, switch over to YouTube and check out the stream over there. The stream should even be appearing on your subscription feed. So, what do we have next, Tom?
Well, something speedy, I imagine.
Very speedy indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the newest addition to Russia top tier jets, the MiG-21 Bis. As you may see, it has quite a few interesting missiles over there. I can even show you perhaps some of them. The MiG-21 Bis carries an increased performance afterburning engine, which accelerates really well and has an insane climb rate, as you can see as well. But it also carries quite a bit of ordnance, a lot of ordnance, really. In fact, it even carries a new missile, the R13M, which is going to be quite powerful on this beast, especially when you can see that you can carry up to 6 air-to-air missiles at once. Phantoms, beware. Let's just say that. In fact, how about we do a quick little test drive so we can actually show you some of the new effects.
What a splendid idea.
Tom, can you tell us what our developers did with, well, that?
Well, it appears the clouds are very much, renewed, I'd say. Very dynamic in terms of many weather conditions that we can have now. And they look really nice. Literally, when we've been kind of testing on this server and playing around a bit over the last few days, we've just spent so much time in the test drives looking at the clouds and just talking about how, just gushing over them for literal hours. So yeah, lots to be excited for like this. The overhaul done to air is incredibly impressive, and I can't fault it in any way, really. And yeah, so...
Okay, we are in the test drive, so we can show you some of the flight performance of the MiG, and most importantly, look at that sky. See, I am genuinely in love with how this sky looks. There's a massive upgrade to the way that clouds are rendered, the way that the lighting system works. We have God rays, we have better lighting, we have better clouds, we have better firing effects. In fact, I can maybe show you some of them. If I fire over here, as you can see, we have a way more improved muzzle flash on the cannon on the MiG-21 Bis and all airplanes, really. We might even have better crash animations. Not that neither of us would ever crash, of course. This is hearsay. I heard the devs talking about that crashes look quite a bit better, but...
Yeah.
I'm not selling this well, am I?
No,
I really am not selling this well.
No.
But look at this sky. Oh, man. You have different layers of clouds at different altitudes. It's, honestly... images talk more than words, right? A picture is worth 1,000 words, I think the saying goes.
I think that's just about right, yeah.
And I love this cockpit. Look at this. The blue. I've always had a weird fascination with the Russian blue that they put on their airplanes.
Yeah, it's like that teal color. It's really nice.
It's really nice. And when you can fly through the clouds like this, it's just actually amazing. It's
excellent.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now... interesting enough, we actually forgot to do something at the start, which some of you may have noticed. We have a new hangar, don't we?
Perhaps.
And it actually comes feature packed.
Does.
Oh, in fact, perfect. Perfect. The hanger switched to the perfect time of day. So, new hanger with the dynamic weather, with the new clouds effects, and with lightning at night. This hanger actually does light up when it's dark, which is really quite nice. And as you can see, we have quite a few things going on. We have some crew in the background working on random stuff. We have usually... there it is, actually. We have this, which, interesting enough, this vehicle is not in my lineup, is it? But yet you can actually click on it. The hanger will now display you some premium vehicles for you to look at, and you can check them out directly by clicking on them. That's actually a really nice little feature of it that I'm really actually quite fond of. It's a nice way to look at vehicles you may not own.
Yeah, it's quite a cool way and sort of integrated way to check them out, and I believe it's thematic to the vehicles you have in your lineup already, so it'll sort of follow the vague BR of what vehicle you have to keep it kind of all in line like that. So yeah, it's a really nice change and just something else to keep the hanger a bit more lively. And it's great, and I think that's something, at least personally, I love about this new hanger. It looks more lively. It adds a bit more sort of flavor to the game, which I really like.
In fact, it does more than that. The hanger will now display all the vehicles of the same type that you have in your lineup. So as you can see, we have an M1 Abrams in the background, we have the ADATs in the background, we have the M60 AMBT in the background. These are all the vehicles that I have in my lineup, and they will actually appear in the hanger to make it more lifelike, a bit more immersive. Because immersion really is everything, isn't it? And of course, here, once again, you can look at some of the premium vehicles. This same also applies to ships, of course. Hopefully, Tom will be able to show you some of the ships in a bit. So, let's move on to... Oh, this is one that the lads have really been waiting for a while, haven't they?
Possibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen it before in the lineup, of course, but welcome to the T90A. Once again, one of those vehicles that has really been requested by the community for a long time. In fact, technically, this has already been in the game before, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has for a fairly long time, actually, thinking about it.
You may remember, I don't exactly know what year it was, but we had an April Fool's event with this.
I want to say 2016?
It might have been. It's been a few years now.
Oh.
It's been a few years now, but it's ingrained in my brain. And now it is actually in the game. And you know what? This thing has some interesting things.
Oh, it does.
You see these red eyes. They are actually functional. This is the Stora 80-gem Dazzler system, which does actually work in this game. We're even going to demonstrate it to you in just a second. But firstly, let me show you one of the new shells that this vehicle gets. This gets the freebie M42M, an improved version of the Mango shell that you already find on the T80 with decent penetration, I would say. It's pretty good. It's all right. It's all right. In fact,
It's just okay.
let me just quickly go to our patented Reddit mode so you guys can take a screenshot of what we have over here.
The Reddit mode.
The Reddit mode. We did it, Reddit. Epic Reddit moment. So how about we quickly set up a custom battle so we can actually show the Dazzler system?
Let's give it a go.
I believe you have a gem carrier over there. In fact, very good. Tom is going to bring out his M901 ITV. Now keep one thing in mind. These Dazzlers work against only a certain few types of 80 gems. Mainly the tow missiles, the hot missiles. Stuff like Hellfires will not get deflected by these. This is something you have to keep in mind. And these Dazzlers also work only in a cone towards the front. So I'm going to quickly set up a custom battle for us to use this in. And you shall see how this works, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent effect as well, and it's kind of dynamic, especially because as it only really works from a certain angle, angling the turret, moving it back just in time, it will make the missile fling off, which is really interesting, and it's done in a way that actually seems pretty realistic from what we've seen. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting indeed. So, Oxy, why don't you join our battle, and we shall go right into it.
Let's give it a go, Chief.
Chat, so far, what are you most excited about? I know there are a few vehicles that you already know about, especially if you watched the Russian stream early on. I know Reddit has been very keen on trying to discover all the little pieces of information from the trailer so far, the streams, the little hints we have been dropping about this upcoming update. And I really want to see what you guys are really most excited for. All the vehicles that have been announced so far, and maybe some vehicles that haven't been announced yet.
Ooh, perhaps.
What could possibly come? What do you think could come is really the question. Okay, I'm going to spawn up on the northern side.
Okie dokie.
and we shall get a nice line of sight. Hopefully I will be able to show you how the dazzlers work in terms of deflecting the ATGMs.
Let's give it a go.
Police shows friends in Italy. Sebastian on YouTube. You shall get it soon enough, don't you worry. In the meantime, look at the sky.
Wonderful.
Not quite as many clouds this time around, but the lighting is quite nice. And see, there's something about looking directly into the sun that you really should not do, but it is really quite
Very
nice.
much is, yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
Honestly, I just want to fly around through these. We're going to be testing out some other weather settings as well for you guys to see all the new weather effects. It is really something nice. Bad Essos Oscar on the Twitch chat asks, when is the dev server? Soon. Soon? Soon.
Soon.
Soon. Soon, TM.
With a very big TM.
Very big TM. A very big TM indeed. Now, I need to see where you are. Actually, where are you, Tom?
I am on the borderline between C and D 1 and 2.
Very good, very good, very good. I don't think I can get up here, so I'm just going to go around real quick.
Let's find a nice bit of open ground, I think.
Yes. Actually, I might be appearing on your slide right now. Hold on, let me fire the MGs up in the air so you can see me.
Oh, the moon's visible in the day too, look at that.
It is actually. Oh, yeah, hold on.
Very pretty. That's new, I think.
Where is it? Where's the moon?
There's
Oi.
the moon.
I can't see the moon.
No moon for you, only me.
You can see the moon. I don't deserve the moon.
No.
I do not deserve the moon.
Oh.
Yes, Peter, this is indeed the new Dagor engine. And here we are. Okay, Tom has found me. Now, Tom, why don't you fire an ATGM at me? Try.
Try.
I want
Okay.
to see you try.
I will try.
I want to see you try.
Let's give it a go. Bonk.
Oh, whoa, where did that go? Wow. It works slightly better at longer ranges, perhaps, but as you can see, the Dazzle does
But
actually
you can
work.
see, right at the end, it pops right off.
So the way
Over
these dazzles work actually is they confuse the targeting system, the automatic correction system of the ATGMs to veer it off course. And funny enough, this is actually not the only vehicle that will get this patch, I believe. No, we can actually switch over to something else. So actually, why don't you do that, Tom?
Yeah, let's have a look at another vehicle. Probably a vehicle that's quite underappreciated, I think. Very sweet boy.
Well,
But,
maybe it will not be underappreciated anymore.
Yeah. So, this is the Brennus, the AMX 30, the B2 modification with the ERA. It also gets this honeycomb-looking thing on the top here, which effectively acts the same way as the T90A's Dazzler, which will affect, I'm pretty sure, the same ATGMs as well, which will make them ping off. It's especially noticeable at long ranges, but at close range as well, as long as it's not within maybe 200-300 meters, it should be able to disrupt those ATGMs, which is really interesting. I like that as a mechanic, and it's good that a vehicle like this is getting it too. So
it is quite interesting indeed. But thankfully, France is not the only nation getting some new interesting stuff. We also have China with the new Q5A/B attacker. This is an evolution of the Q5 early, and in fact, I put the Q5 early in lamp as well, so you can check out the new ordnance that this vehicle will get. In fact, I'm going to show the Q5 early first so you can compare the ordnance. As you can see, the Q5 has a few rockets, a few bombs. Nothing really too spectacular, especially of a attacker this late into the stages, into the game.
Super impressive, I guess.
It's not that great, really, in terms of ordnance. But thankfully, the Q5A comes in here to upgrade on that. Look at those rockets. That is quite a bit of Dakar. That is quite a bit of Dakar. That is a lot of Dakar indeed. I would test fly it, but sadly, we have run out of lighter fluid, and as such, only one of the engines actually has an afterburner on. So we're actually going to switch over to something else. How about we show something to our naval fans, especially now that the team comes? We have some interesting stuff for naval, don't we?
We certainly do. So I'll briefly show you around the Setsu, which is one of the new dreadnoughts coming to the game. So we have German, American, Japanese, and British classes of these early battleships, and they look very, very mean indeed. I absolutely love the look of these things. As you can see, it's pretty much bristling with guns all over. And it's really going to change naval in a really, really big way, as in real life, these vessels basically, well, especially with the British dreadnought, just outclassed everything at the time. They could fire at much longer distance, had much more powerful guns, and yeah, they really were the masters for a while. But As you probably can tell just by looking at this a little bit, there is a bit of a weakness in the anti-air protection. These ships don't really have very much of it, and the anti-air they do have is well, high caliber. And generally they don't have proximity fuses, as these were quite early vessels as well. And that means that aircraft will be a pretty big threat to these vessels, as at the time, 1910s, etc., around that era, aircraft weren't really seen as much of a threat because they were still quite, well, underpowered for what they were. So most of these designs didn't really incorporate much anti-air protection, so that's really going to be interesting to see just how survivable they are. We did take these into some custom battles, and we dropped, I think, lots of different bombs on these ships, and even, I think we dropped the Satan, the 1,800 kilogram German bomb on one of these dreadnoughts, and it didn't knock it out in one shot, so they are fairly survivable like that. But we'll have to see. Maybe it will even add some more dynamics in gameplay in terms of the cruisers screening these ships from anti-air, well, from aircraft. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but really very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. Now, I have to admit I'm personally not much of a naval player. I just never really bothered with the boats themselves, but I'm actually give it a try now, especially since we have a separation of the tech trees now. With the upcoming update, the smaller vessels are going to go into a separate line from the bigger vessels, destroyer and bigger. So you can choose what you want to research first, really. If you want to go for the smaller boats and have some close quarter action with fast little boats, or if you want to go straight for the big boys and try to slug it out at longer ranges and with torpedoes. It's going to be quite interesting, really.
Very much.
So, in the meantime, let's switch over to a new effect. You might have seen this in the trailer, but we're going to be showing off some of the new fire effects. Aircraft are going to be getting quite a visual upgrade, not only in terms of clouds, but also in terms of fires and gunfire effects, which we already kind of showed off with the MiG-21, and also bomb effects and rocket effects. There's really quite a lot going on visually in this update. So let me just quickly casually switch over to my gunner view, and I am very sorry, squad mate, but you have to be my... Oh, look at that!
It's the way the engine pops when it first catches fire. I love it. It's just that little pop. It's gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
It really is.
It is legitimately beautiful. And the B-29 is really the perfect plane to show this off because it has so many engines.
The sparks from the rotors and everything, it's amazing.
And it falls down to the ground. Would you look at that? Yeah, safe to say I really am a fan of these new fire effects.
Yeah.
We may be able to show them off a little bit in a second when we eventually crash, because we are guaranteed going to crash. But first, I actually want to show you some of the bomb effects. So let's quickly drop a few bombs over here.
Just a few. Whilst
I'm casually getting tailed by a Doe 217 doing a barrel loop. And let's rid the bomb view. Now, these are 2,000-pound bombs on the B-29. You can also do this with some of the smaller bombs, 500 kilograms and up. Maybe some slightly bigger bombs that you may know, but... Now, if that isn't a Michael Bay War Thunder edition, I don't know what is. That is such a beautiful fire and explosion effect. I love it. And of course, because a certain game mode tends to get bombed quite a few times, you will also be able to see this in ground forces. Quite menacingly. Bombs are going to be much scarier. That is for sure. Now, Tom, why didn't you take off here in the meantime whilst I try to fire off some more effects? In fact, I'm going to attempt a pro gamer move. And I'm going to show you what happens when you try and crash into the ground with new fire effects and with the fuselage. It actually slides quite a bit.
Slides quite a bit.
Oh, someone on YouTube is anxious about showing a certain vehicle. Well, soon TM. Maybe you just have to figure out for yourself. Okay, we are about to impact with the ground, and look at the fire effects. Bonk. There we go, a nice trail of fire, and the fuselage actually goes on for quite a while. In fact, this will be most noticeable with jets, because they go so fast, they will leave a huge trail of flames.
That they do.
So in the meantime, let's switch over to Tom, because he has something interesting, doesn't he?
Yes, this is the SK-60B, the new Swedish attack aircraft, and I have the 30mm gun pods equipped here with a very nice flash. Look at that.
Oh.
It's so nice. I could look at this all day. In fact, we have been looking at it all day.
We have. We
Yeah.
legitimately have been looking
Yeah.
at them all day. Can you maybe try and do a ground attack on the T-55 over there?
Oh, I will have a go on the Shilker, I think, as I believe with the penetration on these guns, I should be able to...
Now, I
Load
want
it
you
up.
to pay close attention to the effects of the shells hitting the ground as well. Look at the sparks, the explosions. Even hitting the ground is a
Yeah.
festival of fireworks.
A festival of fireworks, I like that,
A
yes.
absolute festival of fireworks. That's what this update is called. Screw New Power. It's... I mean, it's not even 4th of July, isn't it?
No.
New Year's? It's kind of far off of New Year's, that's the problem.
Perhaps, yeah.
Let's invent a new holiday. Snail Day fireworks.
Yes, that exact. Snail Day fireworks. Well done. That's going to catch on, I
Yes,
believe.
sure, surely that will. It totally is not, is it?
Terrible.
Now we have some other vehicles to... Actually, maybe you can talk a bit more about the S60K. What does it have in terms of the ordnances?
Well, it gets some rockets. It gets the Swedish heat rockets, which are really, really good. And really probably the best heat rockets, at least personally, that I've used. I mean, I've pretty much used everything in this game at this point. But the Swedish heat rockets, don't tell them, really are probably some of the best in terms of the damage they do. And it also gets two AGMs as well, I think, and they're very similar to bullpups in terms of performance from what we've seen. And gets two of those as well, and really paired with pretty decent flight performance. This thing as a jet isn't amazingly quick, but it is very, very maneuverable as far as these things go. But it is also fairly weak, especially in protection from the pilots. As you can see, the cockpit is very, very big and not really very well protected either.
I have to say it has a very nice view. I bet it really has a very nice view, but no protection whatsoever. Let's just say you do not want to go head-on with anything whilst you're flying this jet. I don't think you're going to have a great time doing that.
No.
It's a massive target with two pilots right next to each other.
Certainly
Funny
is.
enough, this was actually the trainer version of another jet called the SK-105, I believe.
I think so, yes.
Which we don't have in the game. But, you know, that's all I'm going to say.
And that's all he said.
And that's all I said. Will water surfaces and other reflective objects show the player's vehicle? I'm actually not 100% sure, but I have noticed that the water in general has quite nice reflections now when it comes to the sky. In fact, Tom is still flying it out right now. You can see the reflection of the clouds on the water surface. And the water surface in general also looks quite a bit better with the new lighting system. Those clouds. I love those
Especially
clouds so much.
in the sort of more overcast weather, with more choppier seas, there are new effects on the water as well, which maybe we can have a little look at later, perhaps.
Maybe,
which,
maybe.
Could be exciting. But yeah, there's loads more detail been gone into this. So, yeah, lots to be excited about, I think.
Now, Tom, we're actually going to go a little bit off course here. Whilst you prepare the next vehicle, I'm going to show off some of the new weather effects here as well. You are going to enjoy this quite a bit. So, we're going to go once again back to the MiG-21, just because it is a vehicle that does go quite fast, really. We are in a map with a lot of rain. However, if you can get up to a certain altitude, maybe we can escape the rain. Maybe we can see and peek above the clouds. Maybe we can check out some interesting stuff there.
Well, with the BIS, it shouldn't take too long with that.
Oh, it really should not. I mean, look at the climb rate. I'm just going to go, let's say, about 40 degrees. This thing still accelerates, no problem whatsoever. Ooh. Now, of course, keep in mind, I have the minimum fuel load on. I don't have any ordnance on, but yeah, safe to say this thing will climb quite well. Okay, we're about to breach into the clouds, and all of a sudden it's grey and dark. Where did my son go?
Reminds me of home.
Yes, it does. Tom is from Britain. This is like home to him, really.
Yeah, but it really, it's not even a meme.
Ah, man. And
so
there we
good.
go. I'm going to switch this off. I'm going to go back to the cockpit. Little drop of effects over there on the cockpit. I'm not sure how well you will be able to see this on the Twitch stream, but you should be able to see this just fine on the YouTube stream. Which is, once again, if you have just tuned in and you missed the start of the stream, I very heavily recommend going to the YouTube stream instead, because there we have a 1440p stream quality, which is going to be very, very interesting. Oh, CMD Nomad on Twitch asks, will there be rainbows? Well, I mean, 2005, calls and wants a double rainbows back, but we're not going to make any commitment, let's just say that. But there's quite a few interesting weather effects. In fact, if you go to the dev block of the new sky and weather effects, our developers actually made a simulation of Mars.
You did?
I'm not
Somehow.
even kidding. They literally made a simulation of Mars which looks eerily similar to the real picture taken by one of NASA's drones. It is uncanny, really.
It was really, really good.
In this engine, we can even simulate high altitudes, like up to 200 kilometers altitude, if you could ever get there, which you really can't with any of the vehicles we have in the game right now. You can see the curvature of Earth. May that spark whatever discussions it may. Alpha on YouTube asks, will the IR Dazzlers on the T90 work? Yes, they will. We, in fact, just showed them off a bit ago, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And they do work pretty well.
In
If I do
fact,
say so.
speaking of tanks, Tom, I know you are very, very excited for this one, aren't you?
I mean, to most people, it will be not the most interesting edition, but for me, it's one of my favorite boys. I love it.
Tom, can you introduce the next vehicle we're going to show?
I can, but I can't pronounce its name. You'll have to
can try.
do that in your head. I would rather not offend a lot of people.
Well, let's switch over to it anyways. Tom has a new vehicle to show you, which is going to be interesting to a certain few people.
Yeah, this is well, you can see its name up there. I believe it's the Saharan Cruiser or something like that in Italian. So this is a tier 2 Italian premium vehicle, which I believe is based off a captured Crusader Mark III of the British. It's a very, very low profile tank, bearing a very strong resemblance to the early British machines fought in the desert. And as you can see, it's pretty well angled. And you may look at the armor and think 15 millimeters, not very much. But no, look again. Another plate is hidden.
Oh my god!
Yeah. It's overall armor protection wise, I mean, there are going to be weak spots all over the thing. I mean, the lower plate here, the port for some of the higher caliber shells and the turret as well. It's not going to be the most armored thing in the world, but for sort of hastily aimed shots, especially into the front plate and the mantlet as well, it's going to have a decent amount of armor. And for what it is, it's just such a sweet little tank. I love it.
It looks adorable, actually.
It does.
It really looks adorable.
It's so squashed. Just look at that. I love it.
It kind of, you know, it reminds me of certain British vehicles, doesn't it? The chassis. Yeah. It's like angle frontal plate of what? I can't even know. Like Crusader, maybe? Comet?
Well, yeah, it's based on, I believe, a captured and sort of analysed Crusader Mark III. One of the early British cruiser tanks from the desert combat. And that's what Italy kind of based it on. So it's sort of maneuverable, quick, little versatile medium tank that has, I believe, one of the, so the same gun I think that's found on some of the later M15 tanks. So it's really good. It's fairly good for what it is, this tank. So yeah, it might not be the most pivotal tank in the game. It might not change the meta too much, but it's one of those low-tier fun machines that offers a bit more difference in playstyle especially. So this is the sort of the favorite thing I like to see. So I'm really, really happy we've got this.
Hey Tom, since you're so happy about it, why don't you give it a little test drive and show off some of the mobility perhaps?
Well, I could give it a little go.
Maybe we can even do a quick test of the guns as well. I wonder, does it actually get any machine guns?
Let's have a look. It does.
Oh, it does indeed. Very, very
standard.
nice.
So one thing I would like to show you here is its profile and how small this thing actually is. So here we have the T-17, the British armoured car anti-air. And this is really how small it is. It's a tiny little thing.
It's an adorable little Italian boy.
Yeah.
The Italians really know how to make small little adorable tanks, don't they?
They
The
do.
L333, this thing, there's so much to look for, really.
Very, very much. So yeah, for what this is, I really, really like it. A very cool little thing.
Okay, now we are going to be showing off something major as well, coming right up. Some of our German viewers might be quite excited for this one, let's just say that.
Perhaps.
You have seen it in the trailer if you had a keen eye for barrel lengths, so to speak. But this is actually not the main point of this. We're going to be showing off something a little bit more interesting, perhaps. Let me just quickly set this up. Actually, in the meantime, can you talk a bit more once I set this up?
Yes. Well, what else could we show? I mean, I can talk about this thing. I can talk about some other things. What do you think? How much time do we have?
Actually, we have quite a lot of time left. I think we over-prepared a little bit. We still have half an hour left.
Oh, well, there we go. There's plenty more then. So I could maybe have a look at some more naval stuff. If that would interest few people. I mean, it's
Actually, yeah,
certainly
there's a
bit more
ship there we
interesting
haven't
now.
shown yet, is there?
There's a couple. Let's have a look at some of the Americans. So here we have the North Dakota, which again is very much the quintessential of the Dreadnought design. And I love the look of these things. They're really indicative of the era, especially with these sort of vaguely, I mean, I want to say round-shaped, because they're not round-shaped, but they're rounder than most vessels. Do you know what I mean?
They are a bit rotund, aren't they? They
a
are
bit
like
rotund.
kind of. I mean, that's the thing. I keep on using the word cute to describe vehicles of war, but it really kind of is. It's like a roundish shape, but at the same time kind of imposing. And I really love the cannons on the side of the hull. It's like it's evocative of that really old school warship design, which is cannons all over the place and firing broadside, which actually I guess you can do with this vehicle. Really.
Very much so. Very, very much so. So like a brief look at the modifications here. At the moment, it's only an AP round. I don't think it has any HE. Maybe it will get that later on. I don't know. I don't really know the particulars of this vessel. But you can just see really how powerful these rounds are. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these things develop. And additionally to the North Dakota, we have another cruiser, and a very mean-looking cruiser as well.
Oh, that actually looks impressive.
It's so like indicative of the American design of these boats, and it looks mean, it looks modern and mean for what it is. So we have the same guns, I believe, that are found on some of the previous vessels, the Portland, the 203s, and I believe they're pretty much the same in terms of the rounds you can get. And what they do with this thing as well is coated in anti-air protection. And yeah, it's going to be another exciting boat to see, really. And I'm hyped. I'm hyped for naval.
I saw that. Did you see how much ammo was in a carousel below the turrets?
Look at that. Yeah.
That seems dangerous, to be honest.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry your pretty little head.
Hey, if
It's
you
all
like
good.
popcorn, what's an ammo explosion anyway? It's just extra popcorn,
Yes.
right?
I mean, they're basically the same thing.
Yeah, they're basically the
They're
same.
essentially the same.
So we are going to switch over to now a little interesting thing. How about we show you a interesting German vehicle, a few interesting German vehicles, but not really the vehicles themselves, but a new feature coming to night battles in ground forces. You will not be able to see anything right now. Maybe you won't even be able to tell what vehicle this is. So let's put on a little bit of night vision just to help out a little bit. You still won't be able to really see all that much, really. But this is about to change. Firstly, if you are able to see anything at all, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battlefield, the Leopard 2 A6. Wowzer. This is the newest top tier tank joining the German ground forces. And it features a new cannon, the famed Rheinmetall 120mm smoothbore L55 cannon. All the cannons we up until now, all the 120mm Rheinmetall cannons we up until now, are L44s. This is 11 Ls larger, which clearly has to mean it's better, right?
Wow. I mean, I would say so, yeah.
Very much so. Now,
much
you
so.
might have noticed something. Curious.
Curious.
What could those possibly be?
What could they be? Ooh.
Yes, as you can see, we have added a new feature to ground forces, specifically for the night modes. Automatically spawning flares, which will give you illumination on the battlefield. This should make it slightly easier for vehicles who don't quite have access to night vision devices yet to find a way around the battlefield and hopefully get some captures. Now, interesting enough, you can actually do some interesting stuff with these. If you happen to already have a night vision device, which will actually get blinded quite a bit by these sources of light and these flares, you are actually able to shoot them down, but it really isn't easy. So I'm not going to make promise that I'm actually able to shoot them down here. Actually, I just did.
Okay. You've
First
undersold
try.
yourself.
Yes.
Well done.
Pro Elite MLG esports ready gameplay right there.
Yes.
This is how you do it. So you have the option, really. If you want to use the flares, you can. You can use them to look a bit better, to view a bit better, to have a nice bit of illumination all around the area itself. Of course, as you can see, there's no flares on the outskirts yet, or maybe even ever. So you will be able to flank around still in the dark, or try and go for the cap while it's being illuminated. Now, Tom, you're making a lot of noise over there, you know?
Oh, am I? Well, that's a
Yes.
shame.
You are actually quite annoying, so
What are you going to do about that?
I
You're going to damage my track, are you? Is that what
Yes.
you're going to do? Is that the best you've got?
Yes.
Is that
No.
really the best you've
No.
got? Can you do any more than that?
Oi!
Yeah, okay. All right. I see how it is. I get the
Well,
game.
I think you have a slight hole in your left hull over here, which is actually beautifully lit by the fire effects. But
Very nice.
I'm actually going to show something off right now. You might have seen the message in the text below, but you can actually now tow dead vehicles. And they actually stay on the battlefield.
They do.
They do actually stay on the battlefield. So in fact, Tom has actually just left the custom battle, which is why the timer is running down. And you can use this to create some mobile armor, perhaps. You can use it on choke points. Quite a few things. Let's just quickly restart this custom battle so we can show off the next thing. And oh boy, what's going on right now? Do we have any FPS issues right now? I'm actually not sure. Do we have any drop frames on your end? I don't think we do.
Looks good for me.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay, let's just hope there was just a minor technical complication there. We are going to start it off again real quick, and I'm actually going to take a different vehicle. And actually, let me quickly just adjust the weather settings again, just so we can have a little bit of a better time. And let's go right into it. So, part of the new effects is not only fire effects, not only tanks dying and exploding effects, not only aircraft effects, not only clouds, not only lightning. There's so much visual stuff coming to this game, it's actually kind of overwhelming, especially because your eye just gets kind of paralyzed by looking at all the beautiful new stuff, right?
Very much.
But we have something else. We have some helicopters as well. Wow. So we are back in the same map. We are now going to pick a different vehicle. The one actually of the first dev blocks, this weird truck thing, the Flugabwehrraketen. Hold on, actually I have the full name here. Die Flugabwehrraketensystem Roland auf Radkraftfahrzeug. German is so easy to learn, isn't it?
My brain just switched off when you did that.
Oh my god, look at how big this thing is.
Yeah, this thing is huge, by the way. You might not have seen it from the dev blogs and actually how massive it is, but it is, I think in the test drive, it's about twice the height of the IT-1, the first target. So it's really, really big.
It is enormous. It is absolutely enormous. Now, this is not just a big truck with the Roland system we already have in the game on it, because that would be, well, a little bit too honorable. This thing has no armor. It has absolutely no armor. It has free crew. Let's just say it will be very easy to take this thing down once you spot it. However, it does have a new missile.
It does.
A quite good missile. It has the new VT-1 missile, which goes insanely fast.
That was a good voice. I like that voice.
163mm diameter, 1,250 meters per second. How many Mach is it again? 3.5, I believe.
3.5, I think, yeah.
Mach 3.5. This missile goes almost as fast as some Apf Sds Shells in this game. And it goes for quite a range as well, 10 kilometers range. And it has 7.8. Oh god, this missile is going to be quite good. Let's just say that. Good. And of course, you can actually manually aim it. You don't have to lock on to a target in order to use this missile, which is actually going to be quite interesting when it comes to deflecting flares from enemy helicopters or jets. I mean, I guess jets are going to be a little bit harder to hit with these kind of missiles because you have to manually aim them. But helicopters, which automatically deploy flares if you fire missiles in the direction, well, I mean, if you're manually guiding the missile, the flares won't really work, won't they?
Nope.
Now, Tom, where are you actually? I'm waiting for you over here.
I believe to be right above you, almost.
Oh.
Just about.
Is that so?
Floating
in the meantime,
away.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's just gorgeous.
Actually, hold on. You can even see the rain going down the sides of the vehicle here. Maybe you're able to see this a bit in the light. Not so much in the light. A little bit on the radar dish itself. But on the backside, the graphics honestly have been just so massively improved. I absolutely love it. And frankly, it is not that hard to run, really. We have actually updated the minimum system requirements. You may be able to see them on the War Thunder main website. So keep an eye on that. But this is actually really quite nice. Oh, look at that sun. Look at the clouds. I should have actually taken more planes, to be honest. I should have really taken more planes.
It's
actually,
gorgeous.
speaking... Oh, no. Oh, no. What is
Could it
that?
be?
What is that?
What is that there?
Could it possibly be a KA-50?
It could be. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Are those new flare effects?
Oh, they could be.
actually look like Kind of like napalm, to be honest. I'm scared now.
Oh no.
I'm actually genuinely scared now. Now, Tom, can you show us the new cockpit of that K50?
I certainly can.
Oh my god. Oh, look at those flares. Okay, sorry. I'll be quiet.
Yes, this helicopter, love it or hate it, has a new cockpit, and it is very, very nice looking as well. Very, very detailed all over. Very nice. Look at
Very
that.
nice indeed. Oh boy, you are getting sprayed by AI over there.
See, even the bots are upset. Oh no.
Yes, they are indeed. So, lads, we have one final thing to show you. I'm just going to keep this cam on because I'm really going to tease you guys. Some of you already know what it might be. Some of you may already know what it might be. But I'm going to quickly launch a little test flight, I would say. We're actually going to pick some ordnance over here. How about that? Oh boy, this is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Perhaps.
All right. Can any of the chats make out what I'm about to show?
What could it be?
You can hear waves. You can hear rain. You can hear maybe a slight hint of a jet engine, can't you? Okay, enough teasing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game. A new set of planes with new mechanics. VTOL is here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Harrier, newly coming to the British tech tree. This particular version is a premium. There will also be a tech tree version of the Harrier in the British tech tree, and maybe some other interesting vehicles of this type in other tech trees.
Perhaps. It is certainly a possibility.
And this seems weird. It seems wrong. It just seems wrong. Seeing a plane take off vertically, but yes, the Harrier can indeed do that. The Harrier can indeed do that very, very, very easily indeed. In fact, we even have the nozzles modeled, as you can see. I'm going to try and keep the plane somewhat steady whilst I try and get this over into flight position. But we can actually control the nozzle at different angles even. You can have it at 42%. We can have it at any percent you should really want. And we can set it to full 0% to get the full throttle forward and just go straight up into the sky. In fact, if you really, really, really want to, you can set the nozzles to 100% whilst you are in flight and use it maybe to turn a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Since you are doing a little bit of thrust vectoring, technically speaking, here, you can do quite some nice things. In fact, this is probably one of the only planes that's really hard to stall, just because you can't control where the thrust goes. In fact,
pretty much.
I'm going to do the stupidest thing you could ever do. Look at this. Look at this. What am I doing? I'm crashing, actually.
This is the future.
Yes. Come on, can we do it? And no, we can't.
No, we can't.
Well, I guess we're going to actually take this opportunity to quickly show it in the hangar, so you can see some of the loadout selection as well.
It's pretty interesting, actually.
It looks a bit weird, though, I have to say. The hair very rotund. I keep on saying this word a lot, don't I?
Rotund.
Very rotund.
We'll
it
go with
really
rotund.
looks very rotund. It just seems like I like the cockpit a lot, actually. I really like the cockpit a lot, but the wheels, the position of the wheels with these little like, it's kind of like the wheels on a bicycle when you're trying to learn how to ride a bicycle. It's kind of like that. It's training wheels. You have big fat wheels in the middle, but they seem way too far forward. But that's just how the Harrier is. This is a very detailed, very accurate model of it. And it has some interesting loadout options as well. This is not just a jet fighter. This is really a multi-purpose fighter, attacker. You can carry up to 4 1,000-pound bombs, which is going to be quite nice. In fact, let me quickly show you how this looks on the plane itself. Nicely tucked under the wings. These actually look really good. Holy crap.
They're really good.
Oh boy. Okay, sorry. I was having a moment over there. You can also see the gun pods below the fuselage of the jets. These house 30mm Aidens, a whole 2 of them, with a total ammunition count of 400 rounds. Pretty much average, really. I mean,
That's standard stuff for British jets.
200 rounds per gun. You can fire for quite a while. The Aidens are just absolutely amazing guns once you get the hang of them. I absolutely love flying the Hunter and pretty much anything that has these Aidens on them. And I have a feeling this will probably be my new favorite jet in the game, to be honest.
Yes, you've been very excited about this all day.
I have been. See, I really like silly things. I like doing silly things. I've been playing this game since 2013. I've done it all. I've seen it all. I really like doing custom battles now, mods, and silly things. So up until now, my favorite plane was the Draken, because it can pull Cobras. But this one can like pull the ultimate Cobra.
Yes, I guess
It can pull a continuous ultimate Cobra. This one can go straight up. It can act as a helicopter pretty much. You can do ground attack with it. You can do air-to-air attack with it. As you can see, it also carries up to 4 S-rams. Now, these are short range. The only other vehicle up until now that had this kind of missile system was the Hunter F6, which was very good back in its day, but kind of limited by the short range of these missiles. You have to fire them pretty much within 1 kilometer. But they are very, very, very maneuverable. So you can kind of fire them from the side and destroy things very, very easily, really. And if you really want to go for the full Dakar, you can also have quite a few of rockets. In fact, I'm going to quickly do another test flight. This time... Actually, what kind of time should we go with, chat? Something cinematic. How about... Actually, I know. Sunset.
Sunset.
We're going to go for a sunset with good clouds. Good clouds. Actually, let's make it a bit cloudy. Yeah, sure.
Sure. A sinister laugh.
Yes, very sinister, in fact. Oh. This just looks so cinematic. Like, honestly, look at that. We have the animated cockpit, of course, which is quite nice. We are going to, once again, go into VTOL mode. And we are going to keep up on the promise, and we're going to show you some of the destructible parts of the new aircraft carriers.
Hopefully.
So let's do a slight takeover over here. Hopefully not crash. There we go. Easy enough.
Very good.
As you can see, flying this thing for the past few hours, I have to say, it's a bit weird getting the hang of it. But if you have flown helicopters before, it is slightly different, but it is also quite similar. So if you have flown helicopters, you can get the hang of this pretty easily. I wouldn't say that the VTOL mode is going to be that useful in air battles themselves, unless you get like some kind of city map where you can use the the buildings as cover, because nothing else can really get you there. Or in custom battles, of course, it's going to be quite fun. But generally speaking, you may be able to use the VTOL mode in GFRB, although you are going to make yourself quite a juicy target as well by doing this. Unless maybe you try to go behind cover and stuff.
Yeah.
It just opens up so many possibilities, really. Like, who expects a plane to do this? We are flying in the spots pretty much. Come on. But now, it is time to show you that you can actually aim your guns and your rockets.
Yeah.
And show you some of the destructibility. We're going to shoot at the radar dish, and it's... Oh, bless it.
It's still trying its hardest. I mean,
it really is trying its hardest, isn't it?
I can respect that.
Let's see if its body does the same. Yeah, come on, come on, come on.
It's very robust.
Yeah, I don't think the body like that.
No, not
I
at all.
really don't think the body like that.
I don't think the body did.
And finally, for good measure, let's fire an entire salvo of rockets into this carrier. How about that?
Oh, bless. Those lovely new effects as well.
I absolutely love the rocket effects, to be honest. They are beautiful. Now, before we crash into the sea again and embarrass myself, I'm just going to get out of here. Let's slowly increase the angle of the nozzles, and we shall go right up. There we go. I like this thing so much. I really like this thing so much. In fact, Tom, you have a special relationship with this map, don't you?
Yeah, I actually live on this map. Well, not literally on the map, but
maybe
my
he actually
flat,
does literally live on this map.
My flat in the UK is actually on this map. You can go visit me if you want.
In fact, that's actually what we're going to try to do. Now, I believe you used to live... I mean, he's living now in Germany with me. But I think you used to live right around...
Yeah, so just above Broadstairs, Ramsgate. We used to go to the big pub there. And,
I'm going to destroy your pub, Tom.
I know. It's such a good Wetherspoon. It's like two stories high. So much seating.
Too bad. This is revenge for never eating an egg.
Oh, don't bring... No.
I hold myself up really well. I didn't mention this single time this stream. This will be the only time this stream.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
All right. Now, I believe, if I recall correctly from what you said me yesterday, it was somewhere around this bay area, right?
Yeah, basically. So there's a sort of harbour arm on the corner there where you can see the land just jutting out. And I live basically in the shallow elbow to the left. So sort of along that way a little bit, a bit further along.
You mean right around there?
No, maybe. Oh no. Yeah, like I live on this screenshot effectively. over in the
You
UK.
live on the screenshot, do
Well,
you?
no, not as in I'm there now, but as in the real world, which this map is emulating. I exist there in real life, which is quite cool.
Very nice. Now, we are going to quickly take the opportunity since we are next to the airfield over here, and we're going to slow down, slow down. I have my nozzle all the way up. In fact, let me quickly show you the controls you need to set up for this, by the way. I believe is nozzle, thrust vector, yeah. Lift engine nozzle control axis. This will be a new control that you can set once the update drops, or if you happen to go on the dev server, soon, TM. And you can increase the value and decrease the value, and well, control like that. It's actually pretty easy, really. I would recommend personally to set up relative control and keep value for disabled axis, so you can actually have a granularity of setting it up, and you can control the sensitivity of the axis and all that good stuff. So you can actually have like 72% and really fine granularity depending on what your usage case is. For example, one thing I would probably recommend for trying to land and take off is actually not to set at 100%, but set like 90% so you get a little bit of forward movement as well. In fact, I'm going to try and show this by landing without crashing, which is going to be a challenge to say the least, because I am notorious for messing things up, aren't I? Okay, we're going to get the gear out. We're going to increase our thrust a little bit here.
Wow.
Slow down. Now keep in mind, this is not quite like a helicopter. You can't slow down from 300 to 0 as quickly as a helicopter can. You have to have quite a bit of a lead time of a run-up to be able to land on the area that you want to. And most importantly, you're going to be very, very vulnerable during that time. That is one thing you really have to keep an eye out for.
Smooth as butter.
But tell me if this isn't a screenshot material right here.
Oh, it's just wonderful. You know, like back, however, like 7-8 years ago when we first started playing, I mean...
See, 7 or 8 years ago, I started on a laptop that could barely do 720p.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother world in comparison. This is this is what I imagined. This is what my head imagined War Thunder was looking like back in 2013. You know how those old games, those 90s games, 20s games, where the game itself looked completely blocky and bad, but your brain filled out the rest? This is what this is. This is what my mental image of War Thunder was. And it's beautiful.
It is.
It is absolutely beautiful.
There's no other kind of dancing around it. It's just amazing. The amount of work that's gone into that is incredible.
It really has. It really has. Now, lads, we are reaching the end of the stream, but we're going to take a few minutes to perhaps answer some of the questions that you guys are leaving in the chat. In fact, we have Joël in the YouTube chat asking to show the pen of the DM33. Now, keep in mind, again, this is work in progress. You can see it right, big, bold letters right above me. Work in progress. Nothing on this is final. Things are always subject to change. Things might, well, always change. But I can show you that this thing does get a new shell. The DM53 on the L55 cannon, which has... in fact, let me quickly switch to Reddit mode.
Whoa!
Yeah, you can see it has...
Reddit mode.
It's quite a strong shell. It's quite a strong shell, let's just say that. I'm scared. Hold me, please, Tom.
Can't do that, I'm afraid. Social distancing. I can't get near you.
Oh, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
This is sad. This just got too real.
Yeah.
In fact, I really like your pink plane, actually.
Yeah. This isn't new, by the way.
This is not new. This is just us showing off as Tom's skin collection.
Yeah, it's my skin connection. No, that's worse.
Collection.
That's
Oh, actually, one thing I can do is, since we have people now in the hangar, we can show you the scale. That is a person.
That is a person.
This is a truck.
That is a truck.
I know. I have very good observation skills, don't I?
He does.
It's so weird. It's bigger than the Begleitpanzer in the background, like way bigger.
Way bigger.
Actually, one thing we have to try once the update drops, we have to park this next to a mouse. Which, by the way, lads, the mouse is available for research. You know how we got all those comments in the streams a few months ago?
It's like, please give mouse.
Bring back the mouse.
Give mouse, please.
We did. Go ahead, log into the game. If you can research tier 5 German vehicles, you are able to research the mouse. And the good news is, if you put even a single RP into the mouse, you will be able to research it at any point, even after the official research period ends. Show Leclerc S2. Should we? Should we show them the Leclerc S2?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do they deserve it? I don't know. What? I'm not sure what they are really talking about.
You're just making noise to me.
I don't know. What do you mean? What Leclerc S2?
Yeah,
I don't know if any Leclerc S2.
No, I don't
think. What do you mean? There's no Leclerc S2.
It doesn't seem real to me. I mean, I've never even heard of that.
I know, right? What even is that? Is that like a
baguette
brand or something?
That's really funny.
I really don't know.
It's just noise, basically. is
I
all it
know,
is.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never even seen one before.
So, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, there's no low clearance too.
Yeah. What could it be?
What could it possibly be?
I mean, I've got
I
no
don't know.
idea.
I like the
Absolutely
tank
no
though.
clue.
That looks actually
This
really
is a
nice.
cool tank, yeah.
It really does.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what it's called, but I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
cool.
I mean,
in any case.
It kind of looks like a generic MBT.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
nothing exciting really. I mean, you know.
I like the side skirts though. I am a fan of those side skirts.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Of course I am. Well, lads, I think this is going to be it. We have reached our time. And, well, let's just say you should be tuning in to the news, to our social media. Keep an eye out for a upcoming dev server. If you happen to not know what a dev server is, just put it on Google or YouTube. I mean, it's very easy to find information.
Yes. Lots of tutorials for getting it installed as well.
Very much so. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have enjoyed this preview of our upcoming update. New Power.
Wowzer.
Amazing name. Amazing graphics. Generally. I want this in the game right now. I can't wait.
Yes, me too.
I mean, I can play this on here, but, you know. Anyways. My name is Marcus Boom.
I am Oxy, or Tom, and I'm here as well.
Yes, you are indeed. And we shall see you, hopefully, next week once again.